Good afternoon, CFM. It's Coach Matt with our Wednesday workout. We got a 4-time workout with some rope climbing and kettlebell work in it today, so hopefully this should be a fun one. And some good kettlebell skill drill in the warm-up. So we're gonna begin with 3 minutes of your choice warm-up pace cardio. Then we're gonna do our kettlebell skill drill. So this is just kind of an untimed 3 sets of 5, and I want you practicing the body position and the feeling of the movement of the kettlebell. The number one thing that we're trying to work on here in this drill is how tight you can get your wrists to your hips in that hinge position. So wrists tight to the hips and feeling the weight in the glutes and the hamstrings when we hinge forward in the kettlebell. So what I'll have is I've got this band tied around the handles of the kettlebell, and I've got a pin in the rig that's somewhere around knee height, and I'm gonna hook the band around that pin like that. And then we're just practicing some very, very small kettlebell swings where the band is kind of pulling the kettlebell tight to my hips, and it's going to influence me to keep my body in that hinge position because it's also going to pull me backwards like that. So we don't need to make these big movements, right? I'm just walking out a little ways until I've got some good tension on the band. So notice I'm way away from the rig right now, and I would not want to get snapped with this band were it to come free, right? So what I'm gonna do is in this hinge position, the kettlebell is being pulled right to where it should be as if there was momentum on the kettlebell. So I can kind of drill this position without any motion, and then I can just stand tall. I can do little swings, but it is barely gonna move out in front of me, and the band is gonna pull it right back to that correct position. And I can practice over and over, getting my butt back first, keeping my weight back towards the heels and keeping my shins vertical. So what you will notice on this one is, I'm gonna go back and grab this kettlebell, is the drill does not work if I go down and up and push my knees forward. It feels really awkward, and the kettlebell is kind of joggling around. So a lot of times when we're doing kettlebell swings, quad dominant athletes, you know who you are, they swing, and then the first thing that happens when the kettlebell comes down is they squat straight down and their knees come forward, and then there's no tension on their glutes and hamstrings until the very last second, and then they wham and slam their body forward, and that puts a shock load on the lower back as well as the butt and the hips, making it harder to feel the progressive loading of the hips and the hamstrings, right? So the thing that we're trying to correct here is what moves first as the kettlebell starts descending, right? And what should move first is, everybody said it, your butt, right? Your butt going backwards like this, as opposed to your knees going forward, right? So we want to sequence the movement better by influencing the butt to go back first. The knees still bend, right? It's not like my knees are locked out straight. My knees are still bent. They're just behind or above my ankles. They're not forward of my ankles like that, okay? That's our kettlebell swing drill. We're only gonna go through that thing 3 sets of 5. I want you to do them all in a row, trade off with a partner. And then we'll go to some of our more dynamic warm-up exercises. So pigeon taps, starting in the pigeon position. We're jumping back and forth between left and right leg. Then we're gonna lay down on the ground for scorpion stretch. Ah, yes. After you finished your scorpion stretches, pop back up for drinking bird. And then we'll finish the whole thing with just a nice, easy 30-second child pose, just to stretch out our shoulders and hips a little bit, all right? When we're finished with all that stuff, I wanna practice a little bit of foot pin and rope practice. So we'll have the ropes down this day, and we're gonna practice using the hand over hand grip, either doing our laybacks or sitting on a bench or a box and working on the foot pin so that we can climb the ropes. And then when we get into the workout, we'll take your band off your kettlebell, and what you need for this workout is your rower, your kettlebell, and the rope. And we'll start 800-meter row, 3 reps of a 15-foot rope ascent. So the guys need to touch their nose to the orange, ladies need to touch the orange with their hands, and then after that we're gonna go 24 reps of a front rack lunge. So this one I want the kettlebell standing in front of me, and I'm doing lunges, and part of this movement is holding the kettlebell in front of you, right? So make sure it is not just like laid up on top of my shoulder or around behind me or hanging at the side. For this one, the required position is front rack, which is the kettlebell out in front of my body, and my hands and shoulders are supporting it to get a little bit of extra strain on my postural muscles. When I'm done with that, then I'm gonna do Russian kettlebell swings for 24 reps. So 24 lunges, 24 swings, repeat, 3 rounds total for time. And that is it for the day. Hope you guys have a great one. I'll see you tomorrow.